You talked about the Juggi Jopadi, the shanties. The people who live there have traditionally voted either Congress or they voted Aam Aadmi Party. The shift happened from Congress, it went to Aam Aadmi Party. Your traditional vote base, I'm not going to say vote bank, but your traditional vote base for the state has been the middle class voter. The middle class voter now says the BJP does nothing for us when it comes to taxation, GST, all those things. Of course, everybody pays GST, but does nothing for the middle class voter, has not done it. So the middle class voter moved away from you post Sushma Swaraj, Sahib Singh Verma, Madan Lal Khurana. No BJP government out here. The middle class voter is left nowhere. He voted or she voted for you every single time when it came to the central government, but does not have any faith in your local leadership. Now they see that not just have you abandoned the middle class voter, you're now going to the Juggi Jopadi area. See, it's all a competition, right? I mean, the middle class voter says, हमारे लिए तो कुछ किया नहीं, अब जा रहे हैं जुग्गी झोपड़ी में, वहाँ पे लड़की बहन योजना, they are going to the Juggi Jopadi area, they're trying to take away. So who is your voter and what is the middle class voter which is traditionally voted for you? What do they hope for now?
So there's a lot of conflation. You've given a lot of information. Let me unpack some of that information. Now, we can talk about what Modi ji has done for the middle class nationally and in Delhi. And I think that's a whole different subject. You know, having made, we've again turned the country around into high growth rate, which the ball had been dropped by the previous government before Prime Minister Modi came into government. We can talk about the high growth rates. We can talk about the job opportunities, the startup environment. We can talk about many things that have been done for the middle class, but that's a whole different topic. But you have raised some important points concerning Delhi. So let's address that. The reality is, many people back from 2011 were quite intrigued with these Apda. They were quite intrigued. They thought it was a breath of fresh air. They thought it was a different kind of politics. And it turned out that this is the crudest, worst form of the worst kind of politics we have seen before. During COVID, for the leader of Apda, then Chief Minister, to be building a sheesh mahal, a palace for himself, when he had sworn on his kids that he would only live in a two-bedroom flat. For him to have conducted scams which have now come out in the CAG reports of more than 2,000 crores, liquor scam, classroom scam, for having run the institutions into the ground. The Delhi Jal Board has had thousands of crores of scams. No audit has been submitted in 7 years, and people are forced to get this really dirty water. If you drink it, you get typhoid. Now, I can go on and on. The middle class, of course, has had it with these scamsters. The middle class is totally upset. Look, you and I can relate to all of this, especially on the way here to your studio. It took me a lot longer than before. Because in the last 10 years, the Delhi government has not built public infrastructure, not built public transport infrastructure. The DTC has only about a third of the buses that it requires. As a result, the streets are overcrowded with private vehicles, two-wheelers, four-wheelers. Anything that used to take 15 minutes now takes about 45 minutes. Now, it's a mess. The middle class is extremely angry with the Apda's fake promises and their corruption scams. They definitely are backing BJP to form the government. But, you know, when you talk about the slum clusters, when you talk about women, yes, you're right. In the past 10 years, because of fake promises, what used to be a divided opposition vote had all agglomerated into this Apda. And they used to have this double-digit lead, which is why there was a differential result. In Lok Sabha, we used to sweep the elections, and in the Vidhan Sabha, we used to be behind. But as I have explained a little bit earlier, from being double-digit behind to having come to within 2% of them in 2022 in the MCD elections, now we have pulled ahead of them. And we are going to repeat what has happened in other states around the country. You know, when Modi ji became Prime Minister, the talk that we should target more than 51% votes was considered a joke by some people. It happened. It happened in states first like Gujarat. It happened in other states. And then it became a challenge that, all right, that's at Lok Sabha. What do you do at Assembly? It started happening in Assembly after Assembly, many different assemblies. And now it is Delhi's turn because you see the trend. You see the trend over the last 10 years. Now, to conclude, the answer to your question is the BJP does not cater to vote banks like Apda or Congress or others do. we seek to attract everyone. We reach out to every section of society. So it is not either or. Just because we are reaching out to the Jhuggi, Jhopdi, slum clusters doesn't mean we are not reaching out to the RWAs. Of course we are reaching out to the RWAs. We are reaching out to professionals. I can give you lists of thousands of meetings we have had, small, medium and large, with all sections of society. We've had them with professionals, doctors, chartered accountants, lawyers. We've had them with teachers, auto rickshaw drivers, cab drivers, domestic workers, you name it. Literally, lakhs and lakhs and lakhs of people have been met by BJP leaders and karyakartas. So it is not an either or. We are seeking everyone's vote.
Do subscribe to the ANI Clips channel to get shorter versions of this podcast. Click here to watch the full episode.